Okay, welcome to Let's Draw number 14, the Stuart Foley Dreadnought project. Let's go to full screen here. Okay, now that I didn't realize that I had a counter clock on my mirrorless, which is cool because I, kept looking at the clock trying to time these for half an hour. I don't mind too much if they get around 40 minutes, or up to an hour, but I try to keep them 20 to 30 minutes-ish, not over 40, so I'm kind of sorry. The last one was almost an hour. It's pretty interesting when you get to drawing, even when I was drawing ships, how fast this can... just basically the time flies. It's really amazing. It's, I imagine it's like a lot of hobbies. Oopsie, I don't want that. Let's see, escape. Okay. Anyways, when I'm working with my lathe and stuff like that, and actually building physical models, or working on my old Mustang, or there's a lot of stuff. If I'm doing something I enjoy, it just seems like the time just flies. You know how it is. You can go over, talk to a buddy, and next thing you know, you're over there for 4 hours. Okay. If you remember, we were drawing the bottom of this, and I'm going to continue on, see if we can finish this. So I want to extrude scale, and I want to come in to, I think about halfway there. Let's look at the bottom. Okay, let's go to Z, so we can see what we're doing here. Let's grab it to the Z, let's bring it up. No, actually, I can scale it. Let's go from the 7. Let's scale about, I think, there, give or take. And let's go back to 1, and of course it's way down there. Let's grab it to the Z. Let's come here a little bit. Let's grab it to the Z. So this is almost flat. It actually looks like... Let's see. We had it 1, and it looks like they actually brought up 1 out a little bit, and then brought it up. So let's do that. Let's match up this line. Grab it, Z. It's really funny how some stuff, and sometimes you can kind of get away with stuff because it is so small. Okay, let's extrude to the Z. Let's come down a little bit. Yeah, this is kind of a mess because, like I said, because of the because this picture isn't perfectly centered. So we're kind of making rough guesses here. Let's go extrude, scale, and we're kind of having to guess here. Let's go for 7 again. And let's go scale. Let's bring it down to there. Let's go to 1. Let's bring it back up. Grab it, Z. And I think what I might do here a little bit is actually grab it, Z. I might just alter this ever so slightly just so that it isn't. I mean, it's pretty dang close as it is, but I can cut out a couple of lines here if I just play around with it a little bit. Now, one other thing that's kind of cool. Okay, let's go 7. Let's go extrude. Let's go extrude scale, and let's come out to here. Let's go 1, and let's grab it, of course. Z. Bring it way up here, and zoom it in. See it out a little bit. Let's grab it and go Z with it. Okay, and let's do that one more time. Extrude scale. And come to here. And what I was starting to say is what's kind of cool is, let's grab Z, bring it up, and let's grab it. Yeah, let's grab it. Z, let's bring it down just a, actually, let's look at that. Let's bring it right there. Okay. Now what I was starting to say is what's interesting about this is the Enterprise in the original series, I just thought it was neat because it had this, and I built the model, it had this little plastic transparent glass, whatever you want to call it. It had the bubble on top, and the bubble on top was perfectly smooth. And in the pilot episode or whatever, and like they made it, and even in some of the models, you can look down into the bridge through that. It's like a transparent bubble that they can look through. Now on the bottom, I always thought they were firing phasers. It looked like they were shooting torpedoes and firing phasers out of this bubble. And the bottom one had a little bump on the bottom of it. But I always thought they were doing that. I always thought they were basically firing torpedoes out of this and stuff like that. And I found out later that actually the phasers are supposed to be a little tad up above it, stuff like that. And they actually had emitters. They were pretty low down here. And then when you started getting into the movies and or the Enterprise A and stuff like that, of course, you can actually see the phasers on top. They showed Rathacon and stuff like that. They actually had the phasers, like you can see up here on top, and or they were further out. You can see the emitters. So let's save this. And we're going to keep this on 12B for the moment. What?
I'm bleeding.
Huh?
I'm bleeding.
From your stuff?
No. I scratched this.
You had a pimple or something?
Yeah.
Well, get a wash rag, and we don't really have any water though. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so what I want to do now is actually deselect that. And we're going to go back to object mode, and we're going to deselect this. Now if you remember right, actually, did I put 64 sides on this? I think I did. I think I put 64 sides on this. So, and if I put 64 on it, it really wouldn't be a problem either, but I think, okay, Z, so we're in object mode. Okay, so we want to add a UV sphere. And there's 32 sides on the UV sphere. And I don't remember how many segments I put on there. I don't remember if I went to 60 or 64. So let's delete that for a minute. Delete it. And then let's go from the top and let's select this again. Let's go to edit mode. Yeah. It's not telling me. I'm going to have to actually count them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, I went 60. There's 15 in the quarter. So I actually went 60 segments. So go back to object mode and go to 1. We'll deselect this object We're going to add this UV sphere, and we're going to go 60 segments, or we could go 30, but 60 segments. Okay. And I'll show you the reason why we're going to go 60 segments on this. We're going to go T. Okay. Now, we're going to go to edit mode. And we're going to go Z. We're going to go A. Alrighty. So we have 60 segments on this thing. And it's made like a globe. So if you looked at it exactly from the top, then you have the 60 segments all the way around here too. So what I can do is I can actually I can box this like this, and I can go delete verticals, and if you notice, then I can box this. Okay, and we can grab it to the Z and we can bring it up. Oh. And let's try this. Let's scale it. Oh, let's look above it actually. Yeah, I really need to learn how to tell the 3D cursor to go 3D. And I think there's a way to do that. Let's see. Mesh, transform. To sphere, to shear, bend, push, warp, random, shrink, flatten, move, texture, space. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to look this up because there's a way to tell the 3D cursor to basically go to the center of the object, and that would be I need to do that for scaling purposes. Okay, let's look at it back from the one. Okay, I put it on top, but it stayed in the same place there, so that's good. Because this, I'm wanting to scale this. And let's grab it to the Z and let's bring it up. Okay. And need to scale it up now. Which grab it Z. I'm going to have to keep dropping it down and then scale. It's going to scale from the cursor. So I have to grab it Z, let's bring it up. Still a tad too small. Let's grab it, bring it down just a hair. Let's scale it up. And grab it to Z, bring it down a little bit. That's pretty close. But if we get to the nitty gritty, that's pretty darn close, actually. Grab it to the Z, let's bring it up and see. Okay, let's look from the top. That's from 7. And if you notice, let's scale it. Let's scale it. Scale it down just a hair. If we actually get to the Let's come down to the microscopic. Watch this, scale it. Okay, so if I scale it and I match those lines, okay, pretty much matches all the way around. Okay, now we can grab it again, grab it to the Z, bring it up. Grab it to the Z, bring it down just a hair, right there. Okay, now, let's scale it to the Z. And that's not going to work. Okay, let's click this here, because we want those lines to stay there. So let's put our 3D cursor on this, which I don't think matters if it's in the center now, but we could look from the top. And of course it's over to the side. So that's, like I said, I don't think it matters. Now let's scale it to the Z. And we could make it a little bit bigger. And we want to hit A. And we got a 7. Shh, quit. Hey, dog. Okay, now let's save it right quick. File, save as. Okay, now let's put a loop kit in here. Control R. Is it not going to do it? Let's go Control Z. I don't want that. Let's go to 1. Let's try it this way. Let's go Z. Let's try it this way. Let's go Control R. Oh, it'll do it up there, but it won't do it down there. So let's look at it from there now. Let's go. So we put that extra line in there. So let's go Z. I think what we can do, we can go to Control, right click, and I can grab this circle right here. And again, I can zoom in here. And I can right click here and put my cursor right at dot. Okay. And I can go scale and I can bring that in to there. And then I need to go back to there. Okay. Oh, that ain't actually too bad. And then let's do this. Let's go extrude to the Z. Let's bring that out. Just a tad. The Z. Let's bring that out like that. And go in. Okay, let's see what that looks like in the Z. Okay, so we got our little bump on there. And we got our... it looks big. When you blow it up, it looks really big. And there's a few things I could do with this. I could actually go Z. And I could actually box or control. I could actually grab this to the Z. I could bring this up a little bit. I could actually bring it even flat. Or I could just leave that little bump in it, which I think is kind of cool. Okay, I can unselect that, and then I can box this. Okay, and I can go to 7. And I can go scale. And I can bring that in to basically replace that other ring, since it wouldn't let me loop cut the one. And I can go 1, and I can see. We can go A, and then we can box this one here. Grab it Z, we can bring it up a little bit, change that. And then bring it out, and I think we got our little dome. Now what's cool about this dome, especially because it's an object and we haven't attached it to, whoa. Huh, that's weird. It wasn't showing me those little lines. It looks like they're invisible. For some reason, it's not showing me the... They're there, but it's like when I do that. And anyways, what I was saying is, if that's not stitched to that ship, I haven't made that a child object. I haven't attached it to the bottom of this thing yet. So what I can do is I can go Shift Duplicate on the Z, and I can bring it up here. And then I can hit Rotate on the Y-axis. And then I can hit 90. And okay. Rotate on the Y again. 90 should actually hit 180. Whoa. No, why did it do that? Was it the Z? Let's do this. Let's go Control Z. Control Z. Okay. So what I want to actually do with this is flip this upside down so I could go Object. Let's go Origin Center Mass, and then let's go. Let's click this right here, and let's go Rotate on the Y, and let's go 180. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, and then let's go grab to the Z just a little bit, and we can bring this down here. Okay, and then that's actually, let's look from the top. And that's actually our top dome, but what we're going to do on our top dome is, no, we're not going to delete it. We're going to go to Edit Mode, and we're going to go Z, and then we're going to box. We're going to go box. We're going to box these. And I think that's automatically. So let's see if that works. Let's go grab to the Z. Let's bring these down here. And I think that worked. I think what we just did is we just snapped those right into place. Okay, and then let's go A, and then let's box this one, and let's grab it, and let's Z it down a little bit, like that, and voila, we have our top dome. Go Z, and go into Edit Mode, or Object Mode, Edit Mode. We're in Edit Mode. So now we have our actual top dome, and we have the position. Now what's kind of cool is I can do a couple different things with that. I can actually use this to draw out on these shapes here. Or I could actually basically make the bridge with that and come down and so on and so forth and add this elevator cylinder. And then I need to make a teardrop shape to make this science lab section. And then I could come out to the dome and I could basically take the dome and or I could maybe even duplicate this and then bring it out here and enlarge it and just shape it around and actually come up with this top shape until I get to the point where I'm basically going to drag this other part in to meet it, kind of stuff. So there's a few different things I can do to make the top of this. And we're at 25 minutes, so I'm going to play around about another 5, and then we're going to, maybe 35, maybe another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to cut this one into 14, and that way, if you're watching this, and like I said, if you like them, we kind of try to get them into shorter segments, so they're not so long. I got to figure out what to do with that neck a little bit later. But I like where this ship's starting to go to, and then once I get this saucer section done on this, and then I can go back down, and I need to work on this hangar bay area. I need to figure out this back hangar bay area, and then I can actually. I think I can use tricks to put grid lines in here, or paint like grid lines onto the ship for like the windows and stuff like that, and figure out where I'm going to put windows and portholes. And because another kind of cool thing about the original Enterprise, or interesting thing about the original Star Trek ship, is you notice they had square windows on this ship, and then they also had little round porthole windows on this ship. So you had square ones and round ones on it, which was kind of interesting that you had both of those, because most ships had portholes and they only had square, kind of like windows usually, where they had a bridge area, like on a nautical ship. And the other thing I need to do on this, which I think I'll do in the next video, because like I said, I'm almost on a half an hour in, is where we need to take this object. Maybe I can do it right now. But we need to go to edit mode, and we need to go to object mode, okay, and we need to click this, and then we need to push shift and click this, and we can actually go Control J, which joins them together. Okay, now if we go to edit mode, I don't know if that automatically joined them or not. Let's go Z. And one thing we can do here is we can actually box this thing in here, and then push our T, and we go into tools, and we come all the way down here, and we see this little thing that says remove doubles. Oh, and it said remove 60 vertices, and the 60 vertices that it removed was the 60 dots where those were lined up. So whether this thing is in a sense stitched together now or not, it doesn't really matter because I joined it together. So as far as it knows, it's one object now. And since I put them vertices exactly where the other vertices are, and they're joined together, in a sense, if they're not stitched together, it doesn't matter. They're going to move together with each other. So let's go shift. Let's go shift. Let's go A, and let's go Z, and let's go back to object mode. And then if we hit our A, deselect. Anyway, that's where we're sitting at the moment. Is we basically had to finish the bottom of this. And now, one of the things I can do when I add materials to is I can actually. It looks like I need to soften this. I think I got a bunch of flat surfaces, but I I can actually smooth all this. One of the things I can do when I add materials is I can actually take these domes and I can tell it to be, I can actually make it kind of look glassy like it does on there. Okay, make it look almost like a light, or I can definitely make it a whitish or kind of a yellowish transparent material. And then actually when the model, if it's being rendered, in the picture it won't look that way, but then when you render it, if it was in a rendered picture, it will look like that. So that's kind of neat. And we are on there. Let's see. Let's push T. Let's put this in the side profile. And this is kind of getting interesting. And we will see what we decide we want to do on the next episode here. I think I'm going to keep drawing on the saucer. I think I'm going to more or less get the saucer done and finished up as far as the shape. Whether it takes one or two, or shouldn't take three more, but it could when I get to rambling on a little bit. But we will see how many episodes it takes to do that, and then I want to play around with this neck a little bit, I think, and see how we can get it to look, since I got a different picture, because I'm not sure if I like the way it climbs up the back of that, or if we're just going to leave it alone. But I definitely like how the ship's coming out now that I got getting the saucer shape into it. I kind of like the way. I kind of like the idea that they were if they were building a Dreadnought, and they basically built this big section, and maybe they had, say, like the original Constitution, which would have been 1700, they were building as a prototype, and then they didn't finish it. Because I think in the story or the original canon, they call this the Constitution class, but I don't really think they have the Constitution. I think when I remembered used to building the models, they gave you all 14 names of the 14 starships that was represented in the series, and I don't think Constitution was one of them. Because Constitution should have been 1700, basically. And then it was kind of interesting because they had some of the ships had a 16 number and a 15 number, and they had things in stories that was kind of like the idea was that they were putting the different numbers on there to confuse the Klingons and stuff like that. But I think they just actually kind of sort of messed up, and they had different people working when they were filming it and stuff like that. And if they actually would have been more systematic or smart about it, then they actually should have had a Constitution that would have been 1700, and Enterprise would have been 1701. And the way the models came on the sheet, what I always thought was that, I don't remember what the next name was, but let's say it was Lexington. I think Lexington was 1705 and stuff like that. But what I did was I numbered them 1701, 1702, 1703, up to 1714, which I don't remember if it was Congo or one was the Hood. There was quite a few of the names were basically old battleship names or aircraft carrier names. And of course they didn't have Yamato then like they did in the Next Generation. But I just always, was like, knew how the sequence of numbers went, and I numbered them that way. And then I find out later that it was like they had really messed up in some of the series, because I think they had the Exeter, or there was a starship that Kirk was supposed to be on before the Enterprise, and so on and so forth. But anyway, they had a few of them. They were 15 something or 16 something, and it just kind of like it wouldn't have made sense unless they just kind of gave them a random number somehow and stuff like that. And then, I've also seen where they built models of destroyers that was basically the saucer section with an engine hanging underneath it off the neck, and those had like a 700 or a 500 and stuff like that. So I kind of wish they would sit down and kind of make a decision about, we messed up and this is how it should be, and have a more numerical sequence system instead of having it messed up like that. But since they filmed some of the shows like that, the only way they could change that in a sense is if they just kind of like redid the graphics or something like that. Okay, anyway, we're on 30. I'm on 35 right now, so thank you for watching. Show some love if you like it. Click the like. Subscribe, please, if you like it. I hope these tutorials are helping people. And or, like I said, sometimes I get feedback and they help me because somebody's like, hey, you know that thing you're talking about? Yeah, this is how you do it. And then I just learned one more thing about Blender. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next episode, which would be number 15.